Rachel, Reilly, and welcome to the Reality After Show Reality Queens podcast. We are so excited that you could join us. I am, as I said, Rachel Reilly Villegas, joined by my two awesome co-hosts.
Hi, I'm Jenn Hoffman.
And I'm Bobby Goodsby. Happy to be here as well.
And today we have a really awesome podcast for you because we are going to talk about what everyone's talking about, which is Big Brother. It's the thing that's on everyone's minds these days, right? Especially after this crazy week. I'm still kind of shocked about what happened, but we'll get to that. But first, Jenn, tell us what they can expect this week.
Okay, so this week from Big Brother, we had Janky Big Brother, where you're invited to have all the fun and all the pizza and ice cream and dancing and partying you want until it turns into a living nightmare, not just for the people, the house guests who couldn't really get out of the heat. They were not allowed back into the house. They couldn't conspire, but also people trying to watch live feeds because you had airplanes overhead and craziness and everything. We're going to talk about the gameplay that happened during the week, which was very interesting. And we are going to then talk about, give you a spoiler and tell you when to turn it off because there was an eviction and we have a new head of household and we already have some very interesting decisions about who this new head of household wants to put him on the block. So we will do that. And Rachel, I know you have more for us, but that's the Big Brother side of things.
Ooh, and then my Golden, I'm so excited to talk about Golden Bachelorette. First of all, I have to tell you both that I cried like the entire episode. They don't just get you at the beginning, they get you in the middle and then at the end. We have a lot to talk about with that. There was Dancing with the Stars this week. There was another episode of The Housewives. There was, I mean, I feel like there's just so much good reality TV in the fall. Oh, Survivor premiered, and you can watch Survivor. The Survivor After Show is part of our podcast channel. If you go to just youtube.com/after show, you can watch the Survivor After Show. So we won't really get too much into that, but Survivor premiered this week, which is pretty big. Like, it's 47 seasons big. Such a fun fall season for reality TV. And everyone said reality TV was dying. I'd like to know, who are they kidding? But yeah, I'm excited. So, okay, I do have to ask you, because I know, Jenn, you have become like this Big Brother encyclopedia this season. So live feeds this week. What did you think? Because this week is a little different. They're all outside all week long. They were forced to sleep outside. I noticed a lot of differences in the live feeds that made it a little less entertaining for me. What do you think, Jenn?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're watching the live feeds and you legitimately can't hear much, because when they are showing them, there's the janky world noise just from the carnival, even when they're not singing and dancing, it's just a noisy thing. And there's a flight path there, so there's planes overhead, and then you can hear the equipment they're using to film Big Brother and just all the noise of everything around there. Then on top of it, they're in one yard with no place besides this little area that they decided to designate their safe space instead of like secret meetup space, although people do chat there. There's no real place to plot or scheme, which I thought was good and bad. It was good because we saw some explosions we can get into. It pushed people's tempers. Like, there was nowhere to hide. If you're getting upset with somebody, it was going to cause things to blow over. If you were cozying up to somebody you couldn't hide, people were going to see it. And if you looked like you were up to something, or everyone can see plainly what you're doing. So it was bad because you couldn't have like any secret plots, but the result of it was something surprising and a bold move. So somehow it did kind of work out, but it did kind of suck to try to watch the live feeds.
Yeah, I agree. Bobby, what did you think?
Yeah, as far as the live feeds go, it was basically unwatchable. Like, I just, for me, I couldn't do it. It was something that you don't really get that experience of them actually getting to feel like they can talk game without being completely silent, or you can't hear them on the mics, or you putting their head under the covers. It was not the greatest for gameplay. And as far as the show goes, I think the show made the most of it, and I think everything kind of fell together for the show aspect, but I think the live feeds was a different story.
Well, you know what else happened with the show is the producers ran wild with it, created their own narratives. Now, some of them they stuck to, And then some of them they completely created because in all the live feeds, Leah consistently said, so we'll just set up that Leah was the head of household. She had put Chemo and Rabina on the block against each other. And there was talk of who was going to come down. And this is going back and forth. And then there was a veto comp. And there was Angela won the veto. And Leah won this thing called the Janky veto, which she needed to participate in a competition, a little carnival competition to win. All week she'd been saying, I don't plan on it. I'm just going to let Angela use it. I'm not even going to try. And the producers took this opportunity to make it look like she actually wanted to use it too. They never showed she wasn't going to use it. And they make it look like she's showing so much effort, but she threw the competition and everyone knew she was going to. So it's interesting that the producers, knowing that the live feeds were not only aren't watched by everyone, but also were much more difficult to watch, decided to make a narrative that Leah was really gunning and really trying hard and had some like sort of double master plan where really it just was the plan for Angela in order to pay some penance back to Chemo, for voting against the house and voting against him twice, taking him off the block. They were trying to make it look like Leah was really more mastermind when people that really kind of were in control this week were like Chelsea and her wrath and Angela by saying she was going to use this veto either way. So people had to work with that.
It's really interesting that you say that because again, it's the Angela show that we're getting, which is really crazy at this point in the game because Angela should have really been gone week 1 with her outbursts. But and I actually read a poll where people were like, who is the one house guest you hate the most? So the audience apparently hates Angela the most. But this is really the Angela show. Like Angela got her wish again this week for someone to go home, which is crazy because every single time Angela wants someone to go home, they go home. Everyone in the chat is saying it was a janky week on the live feeds. We totally agree. And then I have a lot of people in the chat saying that they thought that this week played out perfectly and that they're happy that T-Core is gone, which
I screamed. I was so happy. I went, yes! Because, so they were going to the diary. So let's talk about this. So, T-Core ends up getting put up as the replacement. And then there's this kind of issue is how is the House going to vote? Because we find out there kind of was an unspoken thing that Chelsea and T-Core had kind of decided that they really didn't want to vote out another woman of color. They really wanted to. They never had a final 2 in place, but they had told other people, but not really each other, that, hey, I'm not going to gun for her. I'm not going to put her on the block. So you have Rabina crying and being like, I just at least want one vote, like, expecting totally to go home because she's against T-Core, like who everyone loves and everyone kind of fears and loves. And she's this mystery. And Chemo is like, oh, my best friend will never vote against her. And Chelsea is sitting there basically trying to convince Cam and Mackenzie, even though it's not good for their game because T-Core could win the whole thing, to keep T-Core. So then you have this like dilemma. Is Cam going to flip on Chelsea and actually vote Chemo out because he tells her he won't? And then you have his Chemo. First, you have his Chemo going to flip on his best ally, so you go all figure up because people know now by now what happened and who's gone, that T-Core is gone. So Chemo stays loyal. He votes to evict Rabina and decides to keep T-Core. And then you see who in the diary room next? It was Cam. And when he said to vote to evict T-Core, I was like, oh my God. Like there's
I died. I couldn't believe Cam would have ever have evicted T-Core. Because I thought that they were friends. So I didn't think it made sense.
Chelsea was saying the whole time she wasn't going to, and that was not her plan. And that she,
every week Chelsea has talks with Rubina, and every week I feel like Chelsea and Rubina are tight. And like, I think that they are like, remember we said last week, we thought they had like an unspoken final 2. Like you literally said that, Jen. And I truly now believe if it came down to it, that Chelsea and Rubina must have something that none of us know about because they are like tight. I mean, it's weird because they're not really ever in the same alliance. They are, but they aren't. Like, it's an interesting dynamic, I think.
I think Rubina is not, I think it's very much Chelsea a show of her good game, because I think Chelsea thinks and knows, but who knows what could happen in a jury, that if she sits next to Rubina, that Chelsea would have a much better chance of winning than a lot of people. Mackenzie is a comp beast. She's one away
Yes.
now from being of tying Tucker in comps. She's, now I don't care if we spoil it. Can we spoil it and just say that she's
Yeah.
currently,
Spoiler alert!
spoiler,
Spoiler
she was,
alert!
yeah, it's already
Spoiler!
out there. People already blew it up.
Mackenzie is HOH.
She's
Well,
HOH.
I have a thought about that
Oh
too,
yeah,
Jen.
we can get into that whole thing and the whole mess because that is insane. But so if you're thinking about Chelsea's point of view, who has been very strategic and very good, she's like, okay, I can't go against comp. I can't sit in the final two against comp beast Mackenzie. I don't know if I want to go against Cam. I'm getting personally mad at him. I don't want to take him to the end anymore. T-Core is going to maybe blow her away or have tons of votes because everybody loves T-Core. So in her head, she's thinking like Rubina's not that much of a threat, didn't win much. She's won some stuff. People like her, but aren't as dedicated to her. In the back of her head, she's like, Chemo's kind of like a nothing burger and like probably not even a thought. Can't wait to get rid of him. Angela, she thinks everybody hates, which I think could be a mistake. I think Chelsea could be not watching it out enough for Angela because the audience is starting to
Yeah.
turn and love and hate her and kind of want her to hate win. And people are starting to get annoyed with Chelsea's tantrums about Cam and being upset about Mackenzie and Cam. And then there's Leah, who is a much better player and much smarter person than people are giving her credit for because she sounds like this and is like da 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 da, but is a little underestimated.
I definitely think Leah's underestimated. And it's crazy because in the TikTok chat, everybody wants Leah to win. It blows my mind. A lot of people are saying Leah doesn't deserve the win, but a lot of people want Leah to win. Chelsea or Mackenzie to win. A lot of people are saying that. I think with a Mackenzie winning HOH this week, she has solidified herself as the ultimate comp like champion of the season. Furthermore, she's solidified herself as a good gamer, strategic, and I think that what she's doing is, I mean, she has really played this game and she got in a showmance week 1. It didn't work out. They sent her showmance partner home. So it's almost like since then she laid low a little bit, and then since then she's just every week made new friends but not too close of friends, been in alliances but not too close of people with alliances. She keeps this like distance from people but like still is up in the business, and then she's winning vetoes and HOHs, and I think she's actually playing a really good game. And so I don't know, like it's kind of crazy that, and nobody really nominates her to go home. She's not really on their radar, right?
She was at first, and it was like she kept going up. It was either her or Angela were going to go up, and she kept going up and then just winning. So people kind of just gave up for 2 reasons: one, that she was beating people, and that 2, exactly like you said, she was very subtle about gently forming relationships and not upsetting people and kind of being of comfort, and then cozying up to Chelsea. But also Leah's like her little frenemy. But Angela, even though Mackenzie says that she can't stand Angela, Angela thinks that Mackenzie is totally chill with her.
Yeah.
Little flirtation with Cam. Like Rubina, she's like comforting her when Rubina's crying, like, so you're absolutely right, Rachel. Like,
yeah. And if Mackenzie goes after, everyone in the chat saying Mackenzie is going after Angela and Leah this week, that is a bad idea. Bobby, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I just think that I can see where she's coming from in the fact that Leah made a big move last week and she's the one who actually broke up the trio. I still believe, though, the biggest threat to Mackenzie right now is Chelsea. She needs to get rid of Chelsea. Chelsea, I know that she's worked with her in the past, but working with Chelsea is not an option this far into the game. One, she's a challenge threat. She's won HOHs. If you get rid of Chelsea, it breaks up Cam. It brings Cam closer to Mackenzie. And then you can take your shot at Leah or Angela, even though Angela, I feel like, is just a scapegoat still. I mean, there's an outside shot that she wins, but I think it's still a long shot.
Angela's
and as far as
too.
Yeah,
Angela
and as far
is
as the
a
other two,
piece. Like, I think Angela could actually win this season of Big Brother. Like, and they like her. The house
gets her. I feel like now at this point, I feel like Mackenzie deserve. If I had to be like do a vote and the jury vote was like who deserves to win, whatever, I'm leaning a little bit towards like Mackenzie. Like, wow, you really like turned things around, pulled yourself out. You're impressive. Your numbers are good. Your stats are good. Your gameplay's good. Social game is good. But like honestly, if I'm voting for somebody right now, I'm giving Angela $750,000 just for entertaining me and making this season awesome. She should
100%. Listen, I don't want to throw my name out there, but if I'm hosting the jury roundtable,
I wish a motherfucker would.
Oh yes, I wish a motherfucker would too. But I'm asking these house guests, like, look, what do you think that? Who do you think has played you and played this game strategically, and who do you think is playing this game competitively? Because I think that is the biggest thing here with the house guests that are left. We have these big personalities in the beginning, right? Like we love that for entertainment as viewers, but like at the end of the day, for $750,000, you have to think like, who is playing Big Brother, right? And like, if you stare at you talk at them and you look at like their, what they have accomplished this season, you have Chelsea who is winning HOHs and she's making moves and she's getting blood on her hands. You have Mackenzie who's doing the same thing. Angela is doing the same thing, but and like they're not acting like she is, which is so interesting.
It's because her social game is a disaster. Her social game is all over the place. She just can't. She's making people pissed off, and that's not going to help you in the long run.
Right, and then the jury talks, and I've been in the jury, and I've been a jury member, right? And so I know that like I was the first person to jury. I know when you go to jury, especially with this jury, T-Core is in the jury, okay? Like that is a major person in the jury. Like T-Core is going to sway the jury. The jury talks. They say they're not supposed to, but they do. We all know the jury talks. And with a T-Core in the jury, she's going to really sway this jury to what she thinks is going on in the game.
She also might be, because T-Core is very smart. Let's say you do have, it really depends on who you're going to be left with at this point. And it's going to depend on what they value. And even if they dislike Angela, I do have a feeling, because they've been very forgiving. Like some of the people are a little more, like Chelsea's a little less forgiving if you make her mad. Some people bounce back a little better. I do think there is a scenario where if you have Angela sitting next to somebody, that they are like, wow, you pulled this out. Like that is crazy. Like I could see them voting for her because they could just be like, their mind will be so blown that they have to admit to themselves that they always just thought that she was the pawn, the shield, the lunatic, not to be taken seriously. And if she makes it sitting in a final two chair with that, then maybe you do deserve to win, because she was a comp beast. She did form that friendship with Leah, like the mother-daughter thing was pivotal.
Oh, she's so smart.
She stayed out of other fights, like when Cam and Chelsea are going at it and fighting with each other, and Mackenzie's involved with that. Angela stays out of it, but then does strategically kind of know who to needle or who to align with based on their mood. It's like she kind of can't control her own mood, but she does sometimes sense other people's and play it really well.
She does. And this is also the thing about the jury. You have to remember, so Quinn's in the jury. Quinn is an Angela supporter. So at the end of the day, if Angela is in there, I think Quinn is more of a supporter of Angela than Mackenzie, but Quinn is a lover of the game. So you do, like, now these people are going to have to just start thinking every single eviction, who is in that jury house? Who are they sending to jury? Yeah. And I don't know for Leah's game that it was smart for her to let T-Core go. And I don't think for Angela's game it was smart for her to let T-Core go. Because if Angela's in the final two chair and T-Core is going to be talking to everyone and everyone loves and respects T-Core, she might be upset. Or she could say, you got me, girl. You got me good. But I don't know that we're going to see that from T-Core. What do you think? Do you think T-Core is going to give us that?
Well, the way she came out seemed a lot happier than I thought she would be. And the way she presented during the interview seemed a lot like, it was like T-Core was like very like this and very like British and then,
but she's always like, T-Core's always like that.
She released it when she walked out that door. It was like a different T-Core, which I was always thinking that T-Core, because her accent was a little like Anna Delvey to me in a way, like I was like, that's not, I lived in England. I was like, that's not English. I was expecting her to be like, just kidding, I'm from New York or like Missouri. Like, I was like, is she faking this? Like, so when her body language, when she walked out of the house, it was like she was crocheted and she became uncrocheted when she walked out of the door. I was like,
She let everything go when she walked out the door. I do agree. And I think with T-Core, I don't think that she is going to vote. I think she will be salty against Angela and Leah. I don't think she's going to forget about that and say they played them. What do you think, Bobby?
1,000% she's going to be absolutely bitter. Like you could see it in the episode. She started to sour against just even talking to Angela and just being around Angela. And you're talking about the person in the house that has the most sway on this house and this jury, because they all worship the feet of T-Core. It's kind of crazy. It's almost like a cult following at times where it's like, guys, this is a little ridiculous. I just think whatever T-Core says is going to happen.
I agree. I think whatever T-Core says in the jury is going to happen. And I do agree. They voted her out, but it was one of those votes where it was like the Tucker vote, where they knew they love hanging out with Tucker, but they knew they had to get rid of Tucker because he's going to win America's favorite and he's going to be the person that everyone wants to hang out with and love. And if Tucker's still there, he could win and beat you in any competition, really. Totally. Right? So they knew they had to get out T-Core. And I think that they took that opportunity. But I do think if T-Core is in jury, she's going to talk. She's going to be the biggest deciding factors because they do listen to her. They do love her. And she's salty against Angela right now and Leah. And she's not like thinking that they're playing that best game that they could. I mean, from what it seems like, who knows what's going to happen in the next few weeks? Because if Angela continues to win, maybe T-Core does change her mind. You know, it's just that, I don't know. T-Core is going to be a big influence in the jury decision. So everyone in the chat is talking about this jury decision and the jury roundtable. And I don't know if you two heard, but apparently Dr. Will has stepped down from hosting the Big Brother roundtable. Mm-hmm. And I guess this is a big news story. So everyone's throwing their name out there. Who do you think should host it? Now, I'm not saying because present company excluded, but like, just do you think it should be a winner, another player? Like, do you think that it should be like a celebrity Big Brother, like Ross Matthews or someone? What do you think? No?
I honestly think that you'd be the best host for it. I think that they should have, first of all, I think they should have a woman. Yeah. I think they should have a winner and you've lost and you've won. So it's like you've lived, you've learned. Yeah. You've had a showmance. You've had fights. You've had great friendships. So your insight would be very valuable and you're entertaining. I think they could do one host. I know they were obviously knew this was happening and tried to do the test panel when they had that random episode recap, which was not very energizing or exciting, which made me think they may not be just testing one host. Maybe they're going to have like a panel.
That's what I was thinking too.
Person. Yeah, and I think it'd be great for that. I think it's funny that I did hear about this, and I saw that Janelle said like no one should do it. Like basically, just Janelle was just Janelling, just being like bitchy and being like.
What does that mean, Janelle?
No, Janelle.
You have to have someone host it because they need someone to like reel it in. I've sat in that jury like roundtable. Okay, when you sit in that jury roundtable, you argue with people for just the sake of arguing with them. Like I remember, like I think it was Reagan would just bring something up, and I would just like argue with Reagan just to argue. And it's not just me; it's just everyone. Like Enzo would just go, or no, Enzo wasn't in our roundtable, but we were talking about Enzo. And we would just like go off on all the reasons why Enzo would win just to make stuff up because like that's what you do. You know, they have to have 3 different people that you have to talk about. So I think it's pretty. Go ahead, Bobby.
I think we have a clip here of let's see.
Oh yeah.
Janelle posted. Did she post it on Twitter? Because I think I saw her tweeting about this. She posted that no one should do it. I'm surprised they wouldn't have like someone like Rachel Reilly. I know she's like in casting now, but she's still in the reality TV world and talking about reality TV. And Rachel would probably be very entertaining. I mean, it's not like it's, it is a spot where I think you do have to have a former player. I think since Dr. Will was a former winner, it would probably be best to maybe have a former winner. I think we've had a man now, so let's get a woman. Sweet and salty. And our spotters. Oh my gosh, if Franzel does it, that would be epic. If she was like, hi, I'm just gonna ask you.
All right, the rest of the clip is me just credit that is Big Brother Breakdown with Jolene Lunsler. She is absolutely entertaining. I love watching her. She does great live streams and great stuff on this, and you're referenced on there quite a bit, Rachel. So I do want to give credit for her giving that clip and for her fans and her.
Yeah, she does a great job.
Because, yeah. So I was like,
she does do a great job. I think, in my opinion,
no offense.
Yeah, no, and I saw Cody post that, like, he wants to do it. No, Cody is boring. Sorry, Cody. Like, no. And even people in the chat, they're like, Cody is Switzerland. He will be political. Like, nobody wants political jury roundtables. No, we don't. Jury roundtable is like the most fun part of Big Brother because you get to see what the house guests are thinking. So, like, do not give us a boring Cody to host it. Derek will be boring. Like, people are saying Dan, and I mean, sure, but Dan also will probably be boring. Like, I don't know.
Marcellus
is fun. Yeah,
he is a great host, and
he's not a winner.
Marcellus is a pure talent and can control the people and ask the right questions. So would be. I just was like, oh my gosh, when I thought of somebody, I was like, he would be
Marcellus would be good. Danielle Reyes would be a good host to ask great questions. I don't find Nicole to be engaging as a host. I've watched her host things, but like, some people love her. So, I mean, I guess it's like, whatever.
I think you would be great for it, Rachel. I think that you would do a great job, but I also think that they're going to pull probably someone who's in LA. They're just going to make it easy and just grab someone who's there.
Maybe. Yeah. I was thinking who's newer also, like a newer, like Taylor obviously is probably on everyone's mind. So, and like we would see Taylor would be fun. And I do wonder, Jen, if they were like testing that with Jag, Cody, and Taylor. But like the problem was with that episode is that those three have no chemistry. Like, do not put those three on anything together. They are just not fun. They don't have chemistry. They don't really vibe. It doesn't feel like they're friends. It doesn't feel like they're like frenemies. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing there to like give a thought to me either way about their relationship, which I feel like if you're going to have a panel, you need people that are either going to like, that have some sort of like spark. It has to be a spark because you want something. You want to feel something. You don't want to just watch people talking.
Yeah, the energetics of it are very important. And that's why the episode, people will say it fell flat because, A, nobody asked for this. B, it was, it was like tedious and, just there was no point in it. But if you do have entertaining enough hosts, you can watch anything. There are countless things on YouTube with millions of videos. There are television shows on Netflix about the most random stuff and personalities. So you can't really blame that nobody asked for it because you know what? Even though people didn't ask for it, they would have wanted more if they had kind of put together the right people or had the right chemistry and I'm not blaming any of them like individually, but I think you're spot on, Rachel, that it just was like weird.
The three of them together, it just wasn't, it didn't feel like there was anything there. Like, now I will tell you, if it was Taylor and Joseph, I would have loved to watch the two of them because they're just cute together and they have fun together. If it was like, I don't know who Jag's best friend is, but no, not Jag and Matt, because I wouldn't want it to see them. But even like, they need chemistry. They just need to have something more than just being on the same show together. And I feel like that was what was happening. So I think a lot of people are saying that everyone's asking who our predictions are for double eviction. Um, they're saying that they said not Taylor. Then some people said yes, Taylor. Davon would be fun.
Watch them bring Cameron on.
Oh God, not Cameron. God, he's
I'm
so
not trying to
boring
put
too.
that evil in the world.
No, please don't put that
That's
out there.
violent.
Like, no. We need people that aren't boring. Like, America's not boring. I mean, like, just give us people that are like fun. You know, like that's all I want. I want to be entertained. I don't watch Big Brother to be bored and listen to the bros talk all day. Like, sorry. The bros have all their moments on Big Brother. Like half of the seasons have been about the bros. Like, let's get entertaining people on the jury roundtable. Okay. Just saying.
All right.
What was the question they asked?
Who do we think is going to be the double eviction? What do we think is going to happen this week with the Mackenzie HOH? And then Mackenzie cannot obviously win double eviction, but I would see Mackenzie. Honestly, I think she'll win the veto in the double eviction because why not? She proves herself every other time. I think Mackenzie is saying she wants to go after Angela, which is probably not a smart move, but I think she will because it's easy. So therefore, I think in the double, we'll have like maybe a Chelsea win. What do you guys think?
I kind of don't understand it. I just know that right now Mackenzie has HOH. First was saying she was putting Angela and Chemo up.
Yeah.
Then it switched over to Leah. So I guess it's going to depend on those dynamics. But I'll defer to Bobby because beyond, I can't really see past what the next step is. I know what I want to happen, but I don't know what will happen past that.
I mean, it's always hard with double evictions. You can't really tell. A lot happens in the week that really adds up to those double evictions. If I were to go off my gut feeling right now, I would personally say Leah's probably going to end up going home this week because I think that the rest of the house is going to realize that, hey, she just made a big move. She took out the 3 that we've all been talking about for a while, and she actually made the move. And then I could see someone like a Chelsea going and possibly winning the HOH or maybe even a Cam. And then it's kind of wide open. Where do they take the shot? Do they take the shot at Angela? Do they take a shot at Mackenzie? Do they go for Chemo, Rubina? I don't know what the kill shot is there this late into the season. I feel like it is a rather late one. Yeah, I think so too.
I think they'll kill shot Mackenzie. And it is a very late double eviction, which is really odd unless they just wanted to keep the house guest singing Kumbaya. Can you please play that clip, please? Because this is it. Kumbaya.
Remember the good times that we had. Remember the love and the food and the laughs. Remember the chilling in the past in the Big Brother house.
Good voices. They harmonize very well.
It's so hard to hate that. I hate it because I'm like, you're playing Big Brother. Stop having a Kumbaya moment. But I love it because it's just so good.
It got stuck in my head and I couldn't stop thinking it. I was like, I'm washing the dishes and I don't get my daughter up in the Big Brother house. Like I wanted to harmonize with them. I was like, oh, these people are all actually very talented. We knew Chemo could sing, but I'm like, wait, there's harmonizing, and I was like, they're
Cam and like I did not know Cam and Rubina were like the performers that they. I mean, I did because we've seen them, and then didn't Rubina do a singing song? Or no, she did like a game show about songs. But anyways, like it was fun. I have to say, like, I hated it because I want them to play Big Brother more, but like I loved it because I do love this relationship. It felt like a 90s sitcom. I put on my Instagram, I said, like, name that 90s sitcom or like caption this sitcom name. It does feel like a sitcom, right?
Yeah. Feel good, like sounded good. It's like an earworm, that song. And that's like, I love it and I hate it because it got stuck in my head. It wouldn't go, but I was like, I would like, this would be a bop. Like if I could pull it up on iTunes, I'd like probably play it.
I feel like I want to play it too.
I think they're going a little crazy out in Janky world out there. I think all of that time out there is really getting to them.
Yeah, they're definitely living outside, eating only pizza and ice cream would get to anyone. Like, I wonder if they're ever going to eat. It's going to be like a good 6 months before they eat ice cream or pizza ever again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, that was great. I did love that song. I love it. I hate it. I don't know.
That was better than the Janky song because I hated the Janky song so much.
God.
It was not fun for me to watch. People were like very entertained. I understand why, because they're being tortured singing it, but I disliked the song so much. The only thing I liked about it was watching Julie Chen Moonves sing it.
Yeah.
That was worth going through a week of torture, was to watch
Julie do it.
Really sing. Like, I was like, oh my God, Chenbot actually, like, I was like, does she know the words? I was like, well, at least before they cut away, she at least bothered to memorize the first few and was vocalizing it. So I was like, oh my God, Julie Chen's actually singing it. All right. I hate it, but that might have made it slightly worth it.
Oh, that made it worth it for me. I feel like that's our Julie, that we get like little clips of Julie, and it's like little snippets that she's like a real person and that she likes Big Brother. Because sometimes you don't know. But then sometimes I watch and I'm like, I think she really likes Big Brother.
The chin bot is broken. She was singing along.
The chin bot is broken. Yeah.
Janky Chen.
Janky Chen. No, I'm excited for Zingbot. This is also a very late Zingbot, which I'm kind of sad that we're not going to get all the Zingbot action that we usually get. But I'm ready for Zingbot. Like, where has he been?
Yeah.
I don't know if they're doing it. Like, do you think this was like
Yeah,
a
they
replacement?
said they were.
They did? Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, they said it. Julie said on Sunday we're going to get to see Zingbot.
Oh, okay. Well, at least we get a Zingbot with Angela.
Yeah. On Saturday when they do the veto, I'm guessing that they'll have Zingbot come in for the veto. Today? No, tomorrow. What day is it? What year is it?
I have no idea. I don't know where we are in time and space.
Yeah. Oh gosh. But yeah, I'm excited about that. So looking forward, I think we'll see what happens. I do think it'll be a bitter jury because of T-Court in that jury. But things could still change. I mean, look, at the end of the day, they're obviously, the cast likes each other, right? Like, you don't sing that song and harmonize that well together if you don't like each other. So at the end of the day, it seems like they do like each other, and maybe they separate like Big Brother world from what's going on, and they don't really, I don't know, they've been in the house they're going to be in there for so long too, so it's just, these are their people, so we'll see. Maybe it won't be as bitter as we think.
Yeah, it's just, for me, I'm more so just worried about, will T-Core try to push an agenda to get her friends to win because she has so much sway in the house? I just want it to be, give it to the best game player.
Right.
I truly think that if T-Core tries to do that, I don't know if it'll necessarily work, because people have they're like, Quinn's doesn't have to appease people. He's not in the house anymore, and he's like claiming, a super fan, so he's going to want to have his input and make the right decision. And I also, I still really think we might get a little bit of a different T-Core outside. I swear, I think this is the one interesting thing.
We'll see.
Even though a lot of people on Big Brother secretly either, wanted to be in entertainment, wanted to become a host, wanted to be famous. You could never say that before when you were auditioning. They wouldn't take someone who'd been on a game show before. So they didn't want to take models. They didn't take actors. They didn't take entertainers, people on Dr. Phil. This whole cast is full of people that are like performers, actors, have been on game shows, have been on talk shows, have like TikTok followers. So that is one reason I think they could be less bitter, because they might also be like, I'm in it for the entertainment value. So you're a little more forgiving if you think that you still got your time and you were a star. And T-Core seemed like the least person who wanted that, although who knows, because I swear T-Core could be a completely different person. So I don't know if she'll be bitter, because she was so upset, like as Bobby said, of people, just Angela just talking of anything when she knew she was about to go. But that decompression of her entire personality the second she walked out that door, she could have decided, this is my Big Brother game persona, like who I am, why I'm not gonna, like gotten everything down, and then just walked out of the house and been like, hi, I'm T-Core, I chat a lot, I'm friendly, and or I maybe probably still has the accent. I
mean,
want to drop it, but
yeah, we'll see. I think there's no way T-Core can make an argument for someone that's like a Rubina or a Chemo to win at this point, when you have a Mackenzie and a Chelsea and even an Angela in that house. Like, you just can't argue Chemo should win. Like, sorry, Chemo, you're getting final two. Like, Chemo's the one you take to final two because you want to win, right? Like, he's the Victoria of it all.
Right.
Like, I hate to say it, but Chemo's way better. No.
But like, a good point that if Chemo got taken to the end and T-Core was able to sway people to vote for Chemo, I really think it would be like people would be like, tragedy has struck Big Brother.
Yeah, because then T-Core should have been right.
Yeah,
In that case,
like, yeah, it'd be like people would be upset. There'd be like news headlines. Like you would think somebody actually
but
died,
I think like
but no.
I do think that Chemo is the person you want to bring to the final two because at the end of the day, anyone would beat him in a jury. So I do feel like it's not going to be a T-Core. I don't think could even make an argument for him to win at that point. But we'll see what happens.
What if it's Chemo?
Okay.
Real quick, what if it's Chemo and Cam? Yeah. Do you think Chemo wins then?
Okay, if it's Chemo and Cam, then something has gone very wrong in the Big Brother world. We are living in a janky Big Brother universe.
It's like janky season.
Yeah, it'd be there. Yes, throw it out the door. Like
no, I hate it. I hate that. Bobby, why'd you just choose violence? Bobby,
I'm putting that out in the universe. It's gonna happen now.
Bobby's choosing so much violence in this episode.
That would be the worst final two ever. Yeah, let's not say that would happen. Okay, before we go, I do have to mention the Golden Bachelorette this week because it was just so good. I mean, honest to God, y'all, I cried on Joan's like introduction. Then when they played the videos of the men and their family and their stories and like, oh my gosh, they are tugging at our heartstrings more than Bachelor or Bachelorette ever has. And like, I need to know, anyone in Bachelor Nation, if they feel like they are really dedicating the stories to the Golden Bachelor and Golden Bachelorette, because that's what I noticed. And I've watched the last Bachelor and Bachelorette. What do you think, Jenn?
So I had to pause after watching Joan's story because somebody very close to me was just diagnosed with stage 4 cancer this week. And I had never had a reaction like that because no one this close to me has ever, like I just was like, what is happening? Like felt like, like I was like in like a funhouse mirror of like, I just didn't, it was too close to that. So I had a little freak out, and then I was like, I'm going to reset it and watch it through the lens of like hope, because that's what the show is supposed to be about. And then I was able to really watch it, and I was like, they are definitely tugging at the heartstrings, and they're also bringing enough comedic relief. It's like, what I love is they're not patronizing old people, which are not even, everyone's not even old. I'm like, there's 50-year-olds, there's 57 and a 59-year-old. Like, that's not old. Like that, when I was in my 20s, those people were ancient, but now that I'm like in my 40s, I'm like, oh wait, that's fine.
Yeah,
and I think that some of these people are more eligible and more dateable than anybody who was on Jen's season of The Bachelor. Like, if I had right now, if they said you are the Bachelorette, you have to choose all of Joan's suitors or all of Jen's suitors, I would take Joan's 1,000%. And I think they're making them, some of them are interesting on their own, almost all of them, which I can't wait to get to asking you a little bit more about casting them. And then some of them are like wild as a young person could be, like Chicago guy jumping off the roof doing cannonballs, them hiding in the bushes, like watching other people's entrances. Like, I'm so glad that you see that side, because it's not just like sad people that are gonna die soon are gonna find love, so let's make everything very patronizing and slow. Like, it's like a regular kind of Bachelorette with the added weight and heaviness of experience of life, which I love.
I love that. That is exactly what it is. It's the wisdom and the experience of life that we're getting and the stories, which is really fun. And you're right, because of that experience of life is why we're seeing like Cannonball guy who's just there probably to do cannonballs, right? Like, and then like, but we're also seeing they're funny and they're cute and they have such like redeeming qualities where it's almost like, and they're comfortable with themselves. They don't feel, when you watch some of the 20-year-olds dating on The Bachelor, you feel that like where they're not comfortable with themselves kind of thing. And you feel like on these shows, the Golden Bachelorette, like they are comfortable with themselves. And these men, I didn't know how they would act, because you get a bunch of men together and who knows, like you kind of assume they're going to act like how they do on The Bachelorette, but they're not. They're like, they really are respecting each other, and they're like, wow, these guys are great. Like they're all talking about how they're great catches, and they're like, I wish I would have thought of that. And I think it's really nice to see, and I think it's a really fun show. Like I really do enjoy the stories that they get to tell on this show, where it doesn't feel like surface, you know?
Yeah. Well, you don't have somebody like Jenn just every single episode going, I make terrible decisions. I don't know how to love myself. I don't know how to be in a relationship. I make poor decisions, just on repeat
Yeah.
for eternity, over and over and over again. So you have somebody who has been through some stuff, who is loved and lost, who has children, who has, it just adds this depth without making it like it's my favorite book is The Unbearable Lightness of Being, and it became my favorite book before I even read it because I loved the title, and then I read it and it blew my mind. But The Unbearable Lightness of Being is like, it's unbearable how fleeting and fragile and free life is, because it's so heavy. Life
Yeah.
has so much pain and so much whatever, that it's almost unbearable, that it's also all kind of a joke and all fleeting and all, and like you just get that from, I think that's why the show is such a huge success. I think you guys also do a tremendous job of casting people for it, and find the right balance of people that have had heartache versus just like a divorce, versus a crazy ex, versus somebody who was just single and never got around to it, so because not everyone has a heartbreaking story that they went through, and not everyone, like, they also have different socioeconomic statuses. It's very different than the Bachelor and Bachelorette, because those people seem more like a little bit like
They're like lost almost, like the
yeah.
20-year-olds on that show. They're just like, we haven't figured out life yet. Whereas like on Golden Bachelorette, they're like you said, yeah, they've had their careers. And some of them are still in their careers. Like some of them are still working. They're not all retired. So I do think that that's an interesting dynamic as well. They have grandkids and kids and so much, like so many stories. And that's what I think when we go through the casting process with them, it's about asking about the stories and finding the stories. And it's not just about like the surface stuff. And of course there's always stuff that they're like, hey, make sure you ask get this information. But then it does become deeper, because it's like, what are the stories that these people are going to tell? And it's not just like, hey, I'm Pascal and I own a beauty salon. It's like, there's more to this guy. Like, tell us more about this guy. Like, why? And by the way, Pascal is so good looking, and he's
I'm like,
ridiculous.
can't trust it.
With that accent.
Can't trust
Oh my god.
I do not trust you, Pascal. No.
Accent, everything.
I forgot how to say that.
He was one of mine who I was like, I'm so obsessed with him. I like, honestly, all through casting, I like fell in love with him.
Yes.
But then like even like Charles, who's like so cute, and like I remember when I talked to him on the first time, he's so sweet. And I think that they just really told his story so well in this episode. And I love that. Like, I just feel that the way that they're editing this together, you're just learning about the people, and we lack that so much in reality TV these days, which is kind of crazy, because reality TV is meant to tell stories. It's literally meant for us to watch and like see real stories unfolding. And we lose that so much in so many new shows on reality TV. But I feel like they really got to like tell these people's stories in just like these 3-minute segments, which is really, I love that. I wish they would bring that back. It does feel like a 2000s episode of The Bachelor to me.
I think you're absolutely right, and it's a good reminder to producers that you don't have to control and overproduce everything, and that people's own stories. For reality television, the idea was, and they hated, even starting with stuff like The Real World, they took people with opinions, and even though they were younger, it was like the story of them coming of age in front of America, and opinions and this and that, and they all had interesting backstories, And that's what made the show, not over scripting, over producing, or producers manipulating or trying to get in or trying to make it interesting. Or, the only exception to that is something where you have both, like high production, like Studio Lambert style, like Traitors is high production, but then also then they have this, like they bring in incredible talent to make it work too. But like the backstory of new people coming onto reality television is more compelling than what I think you can make.
Yeah, and we've lost learning about the backstories in recent years on television. Like even Big Brother, I wish that they went into it more. Like this season, you always get in the beginning of the season, you always get the I'm Tucker from, wherever, and I'm that guy that's going to tell you what's up. But like you don't really get a full picture of Tucker until we see him on the show. But with this, I felt like you really got a full picture of the life that these people have lived and who they are outside of just coming onto the show. And it was so refreshing. It was so nice to see that. Like it felt more like a story to me and less just like I don't know, like just watching a show. Like I've been missing that in my reality is what I'm trying to say.
I feel you.
Bobby, what do you think, Bobby? You're not talking.
Well,
Bobby's
I'm not
talking about the Bachelor.
Oh, you guys know that show's not really my cup of tea. But hey, honestly, I watched a little bit of the Golden Bachelor with my wife, and I thought that was a great move by the heads of the show to make that direction a focal point and continue it going forward with the Golden Bachelorette. I think it brings a lot to the table, and I think it changes it up. Honestly, I think it helps save the show's longevity because it gives us something different to watch, and it gives us a different aspect, because love is love. Love is, you can be 20 years old and in love, or you can be 80 years old and in love, 90 years old in love. It doesn't matter as long as you're happy and you find someone. And honestly, those stories are usually more compelling when you have someone older, someone more mature, someone at a different place in their life, instead of these 20 somethings that are just trying to be on reality TV. So it's really cool, and I'm happy that they're doing it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I love that they do tell these relatable human stories, which is, I think that is also what we lack. We lack in reality TV in the recent years. We've lacked the relatability factor because it has been unfortunately, it's been a lot of influencers, or it's been a lot of people that want to just be on TV to be on TV. So we haven't gotten that like raw relatability factor, but you do get that with these casts on the Golden Bachelor and the Golden Bachelorette. And they feel more authentic, I think. And that's something that people obviously have been craving in the past few years. And I totally felt that on last night's episode. 100%. I wish she wouldn't have said goodbye to anyone, frankly. I thought that's going to be hard to watch, right?
Yeah, just right away, especially that went quickly. And there was it was a bunch of people. I was like,
yeah. I know it was a bunch of people, but yeah. So, I mean, do you guys have any thoughts on any other shows? I know like there's been so many shows this week. But do you have any thoughts or anything you want to say or echo?
Jen?
My head is like just stuck in the Big Brother house.
Feeling good in the Big Brother house.
I'm watching so much of it that I'm going insane.
Obviously, shows like The Anonymous, if anyone hasn't checked that out, check it out. It's been very, very good. If you haven't seen, obviously, yes, Mormon Wives, that show's been off the wall, batshit crazy. There's just so much good reality TV out there right now that, like you said, Rachel, like apparently it's a dying breed, but it doesn't feel like a dying breed.
No, it doesn't feel like a dying breed. Yeah. The Circle, I think The Circle is good this season. I watched the first 2 episodes and I was like, it's fun. I just want, like, The Circle feels like I want a little bit more recently. I don't know. Maybe that's not a popular opinion.
I think I get it because go ahead, Bobby.
Oh, I was just gonna say, The Circle feels like it's dying out. It really does. Like, and it's felt like that for the last few seasons. Like, I like this season. I think this season's been very, very good. And I like where they're kind of changing things a little bit. But the last 2, maybe 3 seasons, I feel like it's just kind of gotten dull, and the audience has been like, okay, well, we've seen this. And honestly, the British version was
Yes.
a lot better than the American version. So I don't know what the
Because
answer
the
is, but it
Brits
might be done.
They played to camera more. That's what it is. Because you have to have people in the circle playing to camera, or you're not gonna get the same like you're not going to get the same experience, because it's just, the circle is such a unique game where these people are legit just like not interacting with other people. So you have to have people that know how to make it really fun. You know what I mean? That's what I think.
Yeah.
I was like, if they did, I was thinking about like of all the shows that they could bring reality stars back. I was like, Traitors, obviously, like that's like goals. Like, you have
Yes.
to be on that. That's goals. And I was like, oh my, if I was back in shape, because I was in amazing shape my whole life, I was like, I could go on one of those. But I'm so out of shape and I'm so tired all the time right now. I was like, actually, put me on Reality Star Circle so I can just sit on a couch and be like,
the Reality Star Circle would probably
send.
I would watch you on that, Jen, and I think it would probably do really well, because people like you would be on it, and it would be fun because you would make it fun. You know what I mean? Like I could see you, because you're a really good talker, and that's what you need on the circle. So I think, yeah, that's a good like our new petition, put Jen on the circle.
There you go.
I feel like we should do a reality star one, but not have everybody either everybody has to be a catfish, or everyone has to be themselves because it's confusing, or maybe just let you choose so people are confused, but everybody has to play a reality star if you are a catfish. You know what I mean?
I think it would be everyone has to play a reality star, but you could catfish, so you don't have to play yourself, but you would have to be like some reality star. That's probably like a nightmare for like getting signatures and stuff, but you know what? They could do it.
Like Sandra has to be Boston Rob, and like Dr. Will can be Dan.
That would be hilarious. Oh my God. There we go. Look at you, Bobby. That's a good one.
Yeah. I mean, there's ways to save the show. There's absolutely ways, but they just seem to be continuing down the same path. That I get it.
Yeah.
You want that entertaining, young, fresh cast, but they've even tried bringing people back, and it just isn't the same. So something needs to change in this show to really give it a life again.
100%.
Either reality stars or a celebrity one, and everybody has to either play a celebrity, and they can be a catfish or not, which is just, I think we just nailed it. Even just with celebrities, can you imagine, like, you're like, am I talking to like, I'm trying to think of somebody who like would be a celebrity that would be on that, but like, am I talking to Tori Spelling? And am I talking to like,
that would be great. That would be fun too, if they did that. And
they did that with Lance Bass.
With Mel B. Yeah, I was gonna say, and that would be fun.
But if it's everyone, that's hilarious.
That would be hilarious if it was everyone. Okay, I have to go film my Amazon Live. So I love you guys. All right, guys, thanks for joining us today. You can follow us at Reality After Show. Make sure that you subscribe and like the Reality Queens podcast. We will be here every single week. I'm Rachel Reilly Viegas. You can follow me at Rachel Reilly Viegas.
Jenn Hoffman. I'm at Jenn Hoffman on Twitter, and Jenn Hoffman HI everywhere else.
And I'm Bobby Goodsby. You can find me at Goodsby Bobby on Twitter. And then also, guys, if you can, follow us on YouTube at After Show on YouTube. Check out all our great content. We have Circle, we have The Challenge, we have Johnny Fairplay talking about Survivor, and you have us talking about Big Brother, Golden Bachelorette, everything here at Reality After Show on YouTube. Check it out. Links below. Also, check out Johnny Fairplay's cameo. If you want a cameo from Johnny Fairplay, he gives the best in the world. He'll hook you up, so definitely check that out. And then also we have our realitypatreon.com content. Everything you see from the show is included in the Reality Patreon. They also have Reality Patreon questions and answering. So if you want to get your questions answered by Johnny Fairplay, by any of the people that he has on the show, definitely check that out. That's it for us. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.